A couple years ago, on a beautiful fall Sunday, I was just getting ready to leave church when I received a phone call from a friend of mine, Robert. He had come down with pneumonia, was admitted to the hospital. He just asked if I'd come by and visit with him that afternoon. I said sure that I would, and so I did. And after visiting with him for a little while, I noticed he was getting tired, so I thought I'd come back later and visit with him, and told him goodbye and to get some rest. I share this story just to shed a little bit of light on the subject that I want to talk about today, and that is spending time with the ones that you love, the ones that are special to you, and to show them that you love them. And that is one of the best ways that you can show them that you love them, is to spend time with them. Take time out of your busy schedule. It don't have to be some big party that you plan to show them you love them. Sometimes just stopping in and checking on them and talking with them for a few minutes means the world to them. I know one of the many ways that we spent family time growing up, and we still do it today at mom and dad's table, is get a game down and pop a big bowl of popcorn and sit around the table and laugh and talk in between mouthfuls of popcorn and just enjoying each other's fellowship. I read a survey that was done by a group that's called Women of Grace, and they got together to figure out what the average person spends with their family on family time. And what they come up with, the results of their survey show that the average person spends about an hour a day. And at first I thought that sounded like a reasonable amount of time. But as I read on and read some more statistics, I read an article and some statistics by a place called Mobile Statistics. And it basically just showed how much time people spend on their smartphone each day. And what they come up with was about an hour and a half that most people spend on their smartphone, social media or whatever that may be. And you figure that out, do the math, that comes to about 23 days out of the year. And what they figured out is about 4 years in the average lifespan of a person that is spent on the smartphone. And not only that, but I read an article the New York Times put out, and they did some surveying, and what they come up with on television watching. The average person watches about 5 hours of television a day. So between your smartphone and television, you've got 6.5 hours, and then you've got 1 hour you're spending with family. And it just seems like it's totally opposite of what it should be. It's flip-flops. You should be spending the 6.5 hours with family, maybe the hour on your smartphone or whatever. And one reason I bring this to you is because our cell phone does not care for us. They don't care if you pick it up. They don't care, don't love you back. But our loved ones do, and they care about the time that you spend with them. And another reason is we don't know how long we're going to have those ones around us that we love and are dear to us. And I know that more now than I ever did working at a funeral home. I see that, young and old alike. We just don't know how long somebody's going to live. A couple years ago, there was a young man that we had a funeral for, a fairly large funeral, and he was headed home one evening and lost control of his SUV on a country road. And as the vehicle left the road, right at the roadway, it flipped over on its side. But as it was in the process of that, he was unbuckled and his window was rolled down, and he slid out, and the SUV rolled over on top of him, crushing and killing him immediately. And that young man was 23 years old. So we never know when one of our loved ones will go out into eternity. I'm sure his friends and family, whoever he spoke with that day, his co-workers, would have never dreamed in 100 years that that would have happened to him, that that would be the last time that they would get to talk and say something to him. And also my very own sister, graduated college, seemed to be in perfectly good health. And that fall, after graduating college, she began to complain that she was in pain and hurting. So mom and dad took her to several doctors and specialists, and they finally diagnosed her with an autoimmune disease, well, several autoimmune diseases. And we watched my little sister Johanna fade away to almost nothing. And they finally watching her body fight itself, basically. She had all she could take, and she passed away. And she was only 27 years old. So we don't know, young and old, it does not matter. And my friend that I was talking about, Robert, I never got to go back and visit him because he passed away. I'd planned on it, and I thought I would, but I wasn't able to. He passed away. So make every minute count. Take time out of your busy schedule if you can. Spend it with those that you love. Show them that you care. Spend a little less time on your phone, watching television, whatever, and spend more time sitting around the table with a board game and eating popcorn and spending time with those that you love.